like, share, subscribe. HCB2 World.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So listen, we got episode 78 of Dragon Ball Super, and I gotta say, it was one I actually enjoyed quite well. I thought the pacing was pretty good. I thought the dialogue was pretty good. And honestly, I was very glad to see that people leaned on Goku the way he needed to be leaned on. Now, I'm a Goku fan, alright? And I know in my recent videos I've been critical of Goku, but that's only because when I review things and when I talk about things, I keep it very honest. Just because I'm a Goku fan doesn't mean I'm always going to agree with everything Goku does. And when he messes up, I feel like that's stuff we need to address. Now, I was glad to see that in this episode, Gohan kind of said something about it, and Beerus said something about it as well, you know. Now, the most shocking of the two is obviously Gohan. We know how much Gohan looks up to Goku, how much he's always looked up to Goku. So the fact that he was able to tell his dad, you know, what have you done? You really messed up this time. I thought that was pretty cool. Goku, despite being an adult, he runs around very recklessly, and a lot of his actions affect people where sometimes they don't even want anything to do with these situations. Goku just kind of drags them into it, and this was a prime example. Now, because of all of Goku's actions, he put his granddaughter on the risk, his son at risk, and his daughter-in-law. So Gohan, even though he doesn't want to fight, he looks at his family and he's like, man, this is some shit I gotta do, you know, I can't sit this one out. Now, I was also glad that Beerus said something to him because, you know, Beerus is a god, and because of his friendship with Goku, Goku's kind of taking advantage of that. It was nice to see Beerus tell Goku, hey, you're going to take responsibility for this. This is your fault. You don't know what you've done, and now you need to own up to it. And he's right, man. I mean, Goku's been given multiple warnings about Zeno, but it's kind of been like, whatever, I'm Goku, you know, Zeno's my friend, and I'm going to do what I want. And because of that, man, he's dragging everyone into this tournament, and, you know, lives are on the line. Now, one thing that was really weird to me is that the Grand Priest went ahead and told Goku the conditions of the tournament, but he didn't kind of tell the other universes. So I wonder what is that going to do for Goku's future? Because you got to think, you know, obviously if there's one thing we know about secrets, it's that they don't stay secret for long, you know. Now, granted, the Grand Priest said, hey, I'm only telling you this because you're friends with Zeno, but hey, you know, the losing universes are going to be destroyed. Now, eventually that's going to leak out. I don't know how, but you gotta think that that's going to reach the other universes at some point. They're going to put hits out on Goku, you know. Someone's going to come to make Goku pay. But for right now, he seems pretty safe. They just think it's a tournament amongst universes and, you know, this and that. Now, I'm loving the fact that they brought the Galactic Dragon Balls, or I'm sorry, the big Dragon Balls as a prize. Unfortunately, to me, it seems like a kind of a cop-out, but I think, if anything, this is Goku's one chance to kind of make things right. So with that being said, now that we know what the prize is going to be, I feel like this is a tournament that Universe 7 has to win. And I'm only saying that because despite all of Goku's flaws and all the things he's done recently, you do know that he's a good guy. And when it comes to using the Dragon Balls for a good reason, Goku's going to make the right decision, right? So if Universe 7 can go ahead and win this tournament, they can use the Dragon Balls to restore everything back to the way it was. With that being said, I don't think if Goku and his group wins the tournament that they should just restore the universes. I think Goku should ask for a wish where he says that everything gets restored before the future Zeno-sama came to the past. Because honestly, just keeping it real, I have a very bad feeling about the future Zeno, and I think he might actually be a villain. Now, with that being said, not only do I think he's a villain, I think he's also addicted to destruction, and I'll tell you why. If you think to the Goku Black arc, it's a little weird that all these gods were being killed and that all these people were being killed, and that future Zeno did nothing about it. In fact, it seems like he didn't even move until he found out that Zamos was getting ready to destroy the universe or take over the universe. I mean, don't you think if all that stuff is going on in your backyard, one, not only would you be aware, but two, when you do something about it before it reached that point, him being God, he could have easily just destroyed Zamos. So what was the point of him destroying the entire universe, you know? That seemed pretty weird to fast forward a little bit. You got Goku who brings the future Zeno to the past, and because of that, the two Zenos end up colliding the planets into each other. And you gotta think too, the present Zeno-sama, that doesn't seem like something that he would think up of on his own. I feel like that's a game that the future Zeno had showed him, and that's how that destruction came to be. Fast forward a little bit more, let's get to the tournament. Yeah, Goku reminds the present Zeno of the tournament, but I feel like the future Zeno is the one who suggested that stipulation where losing universes get destroyed. Not only that, if you watch him, you know, he seems to be kind of imitating everything the present Zeno does. that makes me think that at some point he's going to try to take over the President Zeno's position, you know? Like he's going to try to get rid of him. Granted, I don't know how he would try to destroy him, but I feel like he's trying to learn everything he does, learn his mannerisms, the way he talks, the way he acts, and I feel like at some point he's going to try to replace him. But, you know, that's just a theory. I really don't have anything to base that on other than things I see, so take that with a grain of salt. I thought it was pretty interesting that Goku's group in Universe 9 were the ones chosen for the preliminary tournament, because I think, you know, I think the future Zeno-sama might be behind that too. I think as highly as the current Zeno probably talks about Goku, the future Zeno wants to see what Goku can do, only because should there be a conflict where the future Zeno tries to take over, I think Goku's group is likely the ones to step in. In terms of another way of looking at this preliminary match, I think this preliminary match also puts Goku and his group at a disadvantage. I think that by Goku being one of the participants, I think that's going to suck for Universe 7, because obviously Goku is one of the strongest, if not the strongest in the universe. With all these gods and all these angels present, they're going to get a look at what Goku can do. And I feel like with that information, they're going to go back and be able to give their universes a chance to prepare for ways to counter against Goku and his group. So I think it sucks that they were chosen for that, but you know, it is what it is. I feel like there's a lot of shady stuff going on, but I am loving that the direction that everything is going as well. In terms of the Majin Buu fight, I just love Majin Buu's character in general, you know. I love how he's taking the punches, and you got this wolf guy who's like, oh yeah, you know, this guy's not shit, you know, easy fighter, all guys from Universe 7 is weak. I mean, you gotta understand how Buu is. If you remember when Buu was fighting Goku Super Saiyan 3, I mean, he was taking those hits as well, but just because Super Saiyan 3 was beating his ass doesn't mean that Buu was actually losing. Buu just likes to take punches before he delivers it. So I feel like next episode we're going to get Majin Buu going the fuck off, and he's going to put that wolf guy in his place, alright? Now, that's going to do it for the review. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If so, I am going to go ahead and ask you to click that like button, because just like I always say, who doesn't like getting thumbs up? If you liked anything that I had to say, or maybe have your own ideas and kind of want to discuss this with me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well, because I not only like making new friends, but I love discussing theories and things that might be, alright? As always, guys, thanks for tuning in. I'm your boy Heroes Come Back 2. Be great, do great. Catch you guys later. Peace.